Welcome to the channel. This is Holden from Classroom Camp, and today I'm going to give my quick review of Woman Down by Colleen Hoover. Woman Down is about the main character Petra, who herself is a writer, except she's experiencing writer's block. And in order to overcome writer's block, she decides she's going to go on a writing retreat and spend some time in a cabin away from society and all the distractions that come with it. Well, Petra is actually writing about a woman who is involved in a love triangle. And one of the people in that love triangle is a married police officer. So, when Petra is writing one day and a police officer mysteriously shows up at her door and offers to role play with her as characters in her novel, what will happen? Will love transpire? All right, and let me just go ahead and get it out there. I gave this a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. And not because it is a good book, but because of the sheer audacity of Colleen Hoover to write something like this. Now, I cannot say that this is a good book, but did I enjoy it? Yes. And I'm not your typical Colleen Hoover reader. You know, I'm a male, and I don't necessarily think Colleen Hoover she doesn't write for the male gaze, she writes for the female gaze, I guess you would call it. I don't know. You know, people say that a lot, so it's the cool thing to say. She writes for the female gaze, and I have read a lot of her work as well. I've read Maybe Someday. I've read It Starts With Us, It Ends With Us. I've read Layla. I've read Verity. I've read Ugly Love. I've read November 9. So I'm very familiar with her writing. And this is not a perfect book. I mean, it has flaws, but my rating is purely based on enjoyment of reading something, like I said, that has the audacity to do what is done in this book. I couldn't stand any of the characters. I didn't like, except for this one older guy who is in the book. I did like him. I think his name is Louis or Louise. But Petra, Saint, Nora, I think is her friend's name. Just all the characters. Mari, did not like anybody, but enjoyed the book overall for what it is. So things that I liked, let me just say that I liked the just weirdness of it. This is a weird book from my perspective, because some of the situations that Petra gets into with this whole role-playing thing are just downright crazy. Like, it's just some weird stuff going on. And I can't really say too much without giving away spoilers, and I'm trying not to do that. But I just, you know, it's mainly about role-playing. And the stuff that is happening is just so strange. It is so crazy to me that I was just like, look, by the end of the book, when I read the last page, I rolled my eyes and I just said, I cannot believe this is happening right now. Like, what did I just read? So I like this book based on, to me, what was the shock value of some things, because I was like, are you serious? Like, is this person really doing this? Are you really going to go along with this? Like, is nobody going to say anything about this? But things I didn't like, the pacing was really kind of off at the beginning and the end. I thought that it kind of had a really slow start. Like, for the first quarter of the book, I was like, what is this even about? Like, what is happening? I wasn't really sure. And then the ending was kind of the same way, and it felt very preachy. The thing about this is, you know, if you're familiar, if you watched the movie It Ends With Us, and you know kind of the drama that went down with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, and the movie itself, and Colleen Hoover herself got kind of intertwined in all of this. And I think Colleen Hoover at one point said that she was going to quit writing. Like, she was retired and like she wasn't going to write. So this is like her first book back. And the character Petra is also it coming out of a situation just like what Colleen Hoover went through. Like, she had a movie or had a book that was turned into a movie, and there were some things that she did that like her fans didn't appreciate, and she had all this backlash, and like so she's really struggling with that and like what people have to say about her. And there's a disclaimer before Woman Down that says that Colleen Hoover's like, oh well, this isn't about me, when you can clearly tell that a lot of it is taken from like her personal experiences. So it gets kind of preachy on some things, and it feels like Colleen Hoover is talking directly to her readers as herself, like explaining some things. So it's kind of preachy in that way, and I was just kind of like, okay. But at the same time, I actually did kind of enjoy that because I felt like I was getting some of Colleen Hoover's perspective on things. Throughout that whole situation that she went in. Again, even though she says that this book is not about her, I think that really it is. I heard some people on Goodreads. I was shocked when I got on Goodreads and rated it a 5 because I saw a lot of people hate this book. They thought that they said this is the worst book that she's ever written. And I can understand where they're coming from. It's been described as fan fiction about herself. I can see that. I can see all the criticisms, but again, I have to say that for myself, I really enjoyed this book. And I do want to go on a little bit of a rant here about Colleen Hoover and some of the things that she does, okay? Throughout all of her books that she has read, pretty much all of them except for maybe Sunday, I cannot stand the male characters. And in this book, the one male character, Saint, the main male character, I cannot stand him. I cannot stand him. I couldn't stand Ryle, and I think it was Ryle, and It Ends With Us. Cannot stand these guys that she writes because they are so pushy, so over the top, like can't take no for an answer type people. And we've been through this whole Me Too movement, and I don't necessarily agree with like cancel culture and all this stuff, but like these are the kinds of guys that would be Me Too'd. But Colleen Hoover writes about them, and I don't know if it's just that like women like these kinds of guys, these guys that again can't take no for an answer, that just continue to like push the line, that are in many ways physically. And I'm not saying that any of this is necessarily in this book, but physically, emotionally, psychologically abusive to women. But it's like these are the guys that I guess that women are attracted to. I'm not sure, but these are the kinds of guys that are in these books by Colleen Hoover. So why else would Colleen Hoover romanticize these kinds of things? If women didn't like them. So it's weird. And, I hate to say it like this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think that if you like these kinds of guys that are in these books, you probably deserve to be with those kinds of guys. I'm not saying that anyone deserves for anything bad to happen to them, but like those are the guys that you probably deserve, and all the hardship that goes with being with someone like that, if that's the kind of thing that you like. Because I can't stand these guys. These are not the good guys, in my opinion. But if you enjoy it, hey, go for it. And again, I'm saying all this trying not to give spoilers away. But in the end, like I said, Woman Down for me is a 5 out of 5. Not because it's a good book, but because of the sheer audacity of Colleen Hoover to write such a crazy story. And I do think that her writing is very good. I like the word choice that she has, her sentence structure, some things like that. I thought that her language was very good, very flowy in many parts, and I enjoyed that. So as a writer, I think that she hits and misses in parts because the pacing is off, but the wording is great, and the story itself is just so crazy that I was like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading it, and it's a 5 out of 5 for me. But that's my opinion. Sorry for all the rant, but you know, those are just my thoughts overall. But what did you think about Woman Down by Colleen Hoover? Let me know down in the comment section. Also, thank you for watching this video. Remember that if you like it, hit that like button, consider subscribing to the channel, share this video, all that great stuff. That's all I have for you in this one. See you next time.